Turin Cathedral is home to one of the most famous Christian relics on the planet, the Turin Shroud.
The Turin Shroud is so iconic because it represents what might be the only physical, tangible proof of Jesus Christ.
The shroud gives a face to a man whose legacy has dominated so much of human history. His physical anatomy is visible on this shroud, and that's incredibly powerful for many people.
But is the Turin Shroud really the genuine burial cloth of Jesus?
I have no trouble being a Christian and a scientist, but the truth has to be through science. I think we can be certain that this is the burial wrapping of Jesus. We talk about wanting to see his face in our prayers, and here it is. Here is his face. What does Jesus look like? We know what he looks like. We know how tall he was. We know many things about him because of the shroud.
Could Stephen Mattingly's remarkable theory be true? Did bacteria from Jesus' body really create the image on the Turin Shroud? Some skeptics believe Jesus' physical representation on the shroud isn't realistic, suggesting that the shroud may be a medieval fake. To help solve the mystery, some look for clues in the history of Roman crucifixions. It can sometimes be overlooked that crucifixion was a punishment the Romans meted out to vast numbers of people. But the way in which Jesus' body was taken down from the cross and given a proper burial would seem unusual.
People who were crucified were normally crucified as seditionaries. They'd committed treason against the Roman state. And so normally they were left to just hang there, being pecked at by the birds and eaten by animals, and their body would have rotted on the cross. So the idea of somebody being taken down from the cross and being given a lovely burial with a shroud, highly unlikely.
Scientific evidence also provides important clues about whether the Turin Shroud is genuine. Blood-stained pattern analysis has shown Jesus' wrist wounds are realistic if he was crucified with his hands high above his head. But what about other bloodstains on the shroud? In particular, the Bible mentions a wound caused by a Roman soldier who stabbed Jesus in the chest. Believers in the authenticity of the Turin Shroud say the chest wound left this bloodstain. And also on the back of Jesus' body, this wide belt of blood. Is this realistic? To replicate the spear wound, forensic anthropologist Dr. Matteo Barini uses a simple method, a sponge on the end of a spatula.
This is the most to reality reproduction of what could happen. And here you see the direction of the blood following the gravity. But we have a problem. Here the blood is going down and is not going in any way behind.
Then how could the belt of blood on the back of Jesus' body on the Turin Shroud have been caused by the spear wound? It's been said by some that the belt of blood could have been created if Jesus continued to bleed after he was taken down dead from the cross and was lying flat in his tomb. But is this possible?
I want to try to replicate this second bleeding. So this, for us, is representing the shroud, and this is the individual bleeding through the wound on the chest. It is expanding. And now we move the body, if you can, Alfie. Very good, great. Now, look at this. There is a big pool of blood here on the funerary cloth. And this is what we do not see in the Shroud of Turin. And this is absolutely non-realistic. In my personal opinion, I think that the Shroud of Turin was made in the medieval time where the majority of people were illiterated, so were not able to read the Bible and the Gospels. So was like a painting to educate people.
If the Turin Shroud was created as a painting to enlighten medieval Christians, this could explain another surprising feature of the shroud. while the average height of a man in Palestine 2,000 years ago was about 1.65 meters, Jesus, as he appears on the shroud, is much taller, closer to 1.85 meters.
The Turin Shroud is not genuine. It is a very impressive, highly accomplished, rather wonderful piece of medieval art.
It's conceivable that Jesus' elongated body on the Turin Shroud just indicates he was unusually tall. But the suggestion that the shroud is a Gothic medieval painting designed to educate the faithful is a strong possibility. If the Turin Shroud is actually a painting, in theory it should be possible to replicate it, recreating on cloth a very similar image of Jesus. But can a convincing, full-scale replica of the Turin Shroud be created today? Luigi Scelli, former professor of organic chemistry at the University of Pavia in Italy, has tried to do this. But before attempting to create a realistic replica of the shroud, Scelli first ruled out how it wasn't made.
If we think that it was a medieval artist to make the shroud, probably the first attempt he did was to see what the print of a real body leaves on a linen cloth. So we tried actually this. We covered a volunteer with a red paint, and we put a sheet flat on him, and this is the result. As you see, it looks very bad. It's distorted. Look at the face, completely awful. So this is not how the shroud was made. It's not the contact print of a real body.
Instead, Scelli tried to recreate the shroud using a technique known as bas-relief, rubbing the outside of a sheet to reveal the contours of the body wrapped within.
We have a volunteer under the sheet, and we have rubbed with a dry pigment the cloth. So we have followed the shape of the body. As you can see, it's not distorted. This is more shroud-like. So just a quick test with a cell phone, and yeah, this is the negative. It looks like the Shroud of Turin.